Hey Cardinals, my name is Kieran.
And my name is TK.
Today's Spirit Week is Throwback Thursday. Hope y'all dressed up retro.
Tomorrow's Spirit Week theme is Nickelodeon Day, so dress like your favorite Nickelodeon character.
Today's lunch is walking tacos. Tomorrow's lunch is chicken bites with breadsticks.
The CR swim and dive team takes on Elk River at home tonight at 6 p.m. Tonight is senior night also.
Come out and celebrate our seniors at Northdale Pool.
Senior interested in scholarship money for college? You don't want to miss this opportunity for CR students only.
Over 100 have already applied. Seniors were sent an email with more information about the Coon Rapids Community Scholarships.
See Mrs. Cornell Smith with questions.
Questions about post-secondary enrollment PSEL?
Tonight, January 30 at 5:30, we'll be having information session in the auditorium for students interested in enrolling PSEO for the first time for 2025 and 2026 school year.
This is also a conference night.
Friday, January 31st is Snow Days event at Mall America Nickelodeon Universe. Students need a digital tickets purchased online with their student ID to enter the Nickelodeon Universe. Tickets that was given out in the lunchroom cannot be used. You have to show that you purchased in student view with your ID. Next, we have CTN Sports Night.
You gotta love the fire that this guy shows. We bring you all the strokes, all the goals, and all the buckets. Hoops, there it is! Sports Night is next.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sports Night. I'm Joe Young.
And I'm Howie Shapiro. We have a fun show tonight.
We do. We got plenty to talk about as we are getting closer and closer to the end of the winter season.
Yes, it is.
We have essentially playoffs starting with the Nordic ski team at their conference meet, and we've got those results later in the show.
No question.
No question. We start, though, with the hockey team, the boys hockey team. Welcomed a couple of non-conference visitors to the Crick last week, starting with a visit from New Prague on Tuesday. SLPCR was trying to end a 3-game skid, but the Trojans' woes were even worse. New Prague was winless in its previous 7, and they were just 1-7-2 after starting the season at 4-1. Both teams came in desperate for a win. Trojans start the scoring. A block shot leads to an odd man rush. Walker Anderson will take it himself. He beats Bushy top shelf and gets the Trojans on the board first. No worries. SLPCR are able to come back and even the score. The long one-timer from Teddy Wackman made it a 1-all game, unfortunately. So that was a save. We lost the teleprompter. I'm going off of memory. Here's the long pass. This is a beautiful goal. Long stretch pass. Wackman patient gets it across the Alpha backdoor. Just an easy tap in for Drew Lindquist. That put SLPCR ahead 2-1. Unfortunately, on the power play, a bad bounce. Lichter had it go over his stick, and then he caught an edge, leaving a shorthanded breakaway that ends up in the back of the net. Sends us to overtime, and in the extra period, it was New Prague finding the net and ending the night happy. They had a very long drought, and they had a longer ride home.
They did. Well, the boys didn't have to wait long to shake off the sting of that loss, but they bounced back in a big way. They ended their 4-game slide by putting up their most dominant win, 8-2, the win for SLP.
It was a fun game, and everybody getting involved. You had Wackman and Engberg each with 2 goals, 2 assists, 4-point games. All their captains had multiple points, and everybody's smiling. It's nice to see that kind of result, but only 6 games now remaining on the schedule. They need to put up a couple more like that.
They do.
The importance was were they dominant, but it was against a team that was right behind them in the section.
Yeah, they needed that win, and they got it quite obviously.
So nothing's ever positive, but they're pretty safe from going into that 8-9 pigtail and having to play Rogers in the second round. They will host Elk River Zimmerman on Thursday. They are at Anoka on Saturday. Girls hockey team heads into the final week of the regular season with some momentum after scoring a couple of wins last week. It started with a trip to Rogers on Tuesday. CPCR beat the Royals 3-1 early in the year, so they were looking for a season sweep against their conference and section rival. CPCR owned the Royals in the first period, outshooting them by a 15-1 margin. It is their 28th goal of the year. It's a game winner. They had a 41-16 shot advantage in the game, but had to hold on for a 2-1 win, and that is a little bit of a disturbing trend for this team as they get ever closer to the postseason.
We've seen a number of games just like that where they've really outshot their opponents by a great margin, but haven't been able to find the back of the net as often as those shots accounted for. So obviously 41 shots on goal, but only two in the back of the net.
Yeah, able to finish, especially when they start to face the teams in the games that matter. On section tournament is up in Biwabik next week on the 4th.
A little round ball. We can talk a little round ball.
We're going to talk a lot round ball.
Yep.
Some exciting stuff happening in the world of basketball.
Yes.
We start with the boys basketball team on their home court on Wednesday. It was supposed to be on Monday, but because of the cold, they pushed it, or it was supposed to be on Tuesday, they pushed it to Wednesday. They lost to Park Center, but a Pirates team that's down a little bit from where they normally, the dominant team they frequently field. So, kept it a little bit closer. But the important thing is not the total points for Jackson Young, but I think his fourth point. I think he was 3 points away from the school career scoring record going in. So by about his fourth point, they stopped and had a little celebration. A lot of the fans knew that this was coming. And,
yes, they did.
It would have been great to see him get it in a win, but watching that young man's success has been so much fun, and no one deserves it more. As Coach Ogorek talks about, it's not what you see, it's what you don't. All the things that he does in the dark is what makes him such a great leader. Taken Plowman-Tate, though, the scoring leader for the Cardinals against the Pirates, 24 points to go along with 4 assists. Kirby Wymore chipped in with another 10-point performance. He had 5 boards as well, 9 points for Connor Young, and Okoye had 8 for the Cardinals. Well, the Cardinals hit the road on Friday night, heading north to take on the Rogers Royals. The Royals were a couple of games ahead of the Cardinals in the standings, but they were vulnerable. They had lost 2 in a row and 6 of their previous 8. It was a great chance for the Cards to score their first conference win of the year. In order to do so, they'd need everybody to contribute, and they were up to the task from the very start. Keep a straight face, Connor. Jackson Young adding to his school scoring record with another big night. He hits a 3 from the corner to give CR the early 5-0 lead. Taken Plowman-Tate had a phenomenal year, as we just talked about, in his own right. He had 16 against the Royals. This one won't go, but guess what? Young is there with one of his 12 rebounds. Quick putback, tight ball game midway through the first. Jeremy Oddie showing the skills on the drive. Nice hands, solid fake, and a sweet roll for the finish. Oddie chipped in with 13 points. Check out this give and go. Oddie with a miss from the perimeter. Jackson Young tracks it down to the corner. Out to Connor Young. Back to Jackson for the finish. Jackson had a career best 36. Cardinals win 75-68.
How many times do you think?
2 weeks in a row that he's had a career best. He had the better one this year. 15 points plus a steal. Aaliyah Graham a dozen and 10 boards. He had a double-double. I think that's her 3rd or 4th of the season. Royal had 6 points again, almost double digits on the boards. 4 and 4 for Ja'Kiah Palmer. They had the same. Well, the reverse schedule of the boys, I should say. They're at Spring Lake Park on Tuesday. They host Andover on Thursday.
Well, it's a fun one. Quick one. Fast. It went fast that half hour.
And a lot of stuff coming up this week on CTN. On Tuesday, we have boys basketball against Spring Lake Park. On Thursday, swimming against Elk River. And on Saturday, girls hockey against Mounds View Iredale. But that's going to do it for this edition of CTN Sports Center. I want to thank you today for joining us and continuing to support everything we do here at CTN for the entire crew, including Howard Shapiro. I'm Joe Youngs.
Next, we have Alumni Spotlight. What was the biggest fish you ever caught?
Biggest fish I ever caught was like a 65-inch sturgeon, as long as this table. And I caught it on the Rainy River. It was about this big around. It looked like a shark. My fishing partner got it by the tail, almost pulled him in the water. And I got a picture of myself holding it, like literally like this. It's like a dinosaur. This fish is like 100 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are your hobbies?
My hobbies, can't say fishing obviously because that's too obvious. I coach football at Anoka. I love to do that. So I got 4 kids, 3 boys, all of them play ball. My daughter does a number of other things, whether it's horseback riding, she joined choir. So I love coaching. I love doing that. I mean, I really enjoy, honestly, just kind of goofing off with the kids, like playing outside, running around, playing basketball in the cul-de-sac. We get a lot of 3-on-3 games going with the neighborhood. We go to parks, do things like that. Like to be outside, like to be active. I'm not a video gamer.
Yeah.
I'm not. The last time I played a video game, guys, it was like Sega. You know what that is? Sega PlayStation 1.
Very old.
PlayStation 1, right? So like, I don't do all that, so just try to stay active.
Nice. And have you ever second thought your profession?
No. I mean, sometimes you have second thoughts on some of your choices, but definitely not my profession. So when I went to college, my career path gave me a fork in the road. It was either I go on and continue with football. I had offers with the Gophers, with Harvard, Penn State, and I decided to do fishing. So I knew at that moment in my life, like, this is what I should be doing. This is what I want to be doing. So in terms of the fishing world, no, I'm a firm believer, like, this is like where God told me I need to be. But yeah, we have second thoughts on choices we make all the time in the world of fishing and in our jobs. But generally speaking, no, this is it, man. This is what I'm supposed to be doing.
You had an offer to Harvard for football.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Football player.
Huh?
Pretty good football player.
I was a kicker, and a kick returner. So, yeah. So I was a soccer player. Soccer was my main sport. Got on board the football program as a kicker. Loved it, man. You know, when you kick a game-winning field goal, you know, like you can't. There's no emotion you can tie to it, right? It's different than anything else. So yeah, I could boot the ball really far and really accurate. So it was pretty fun.
Yeah. What were some of your biggest obstacles you had in your profession?
You know, biggest obstacles was probably, I would say, balancing work, family, life, all of that. So in the world of fishing, if you're going to be a fishing guide, which is a part of what I do, you don't always pick your hours. And a lot of times you need to be out there when the sun comes up, which means you need to get up hours before the sun comes up. And vice versa on the end of the day. You might be there till the sun goes down. So when we had a budding young family with babies and stuff, there was a lot of times I was not home, I was gone. And with my job at Clam, we were traveling. So the biggest obstacles there was probably work-family balance, work-life balance. Otherwise, you know, my obstacles are pretty minor in the world of things when you look at the fishing side. So definitely not the same obstacles other jobs can face on the stress level. Because at the end of the day, like what I do in my world is I promote and I sell fun. So it's pretty darn good.
Have you had a deal within your professional career?
A deal?
Yeah, like, I don't know what that means.
Like a sponsorship deal?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I have a handful of partners outside of Clam Outdoors that I work with on a promotional level, whether it's a boat company, a motor company, rods and reels, tackle, things like that. So then it's ironic because my job at Clam is to manage these pros. Well, then I'm being managed for another company because I'm one of the pros. So it's kind of cool to see all aspects, which I think helps us learn our trade better. But yeah, there's fun deals all over the place.
Yeah. What advice can you give students in high school?
High school, be here is a big one. You know, I mean, if you're not here, you're not going to learn a whole lot. I would say try new things. Like a lot of people get stuck in a rut. They don't want to step outside their comfort zone. But what I can tell you, seeing it happen a number of times, is when you step outside your comfort zone, you oftentimes find something you're meant to do. I think when we stay in our comfort zone, we oftentimes find the easy path, and we take the easy path. So I always encourage people, try something different, maybe something you thought you'd never do in your lifetime, and you might be surprised. I think that's important. I also think high school, we're supposed to socialize in high school. Let's call it what it is. Like, that's the beauty of high school. Don't let that pass you up. You know, make friends, be outgoing the best you can, talk to people, make the most of it. And because it does go by quick. That sounds cliche, and everyone's like, oh yeah, of course he's going to say that, but it's true. Like, you will be going to college like what feels like next week. So make the most of it, have fun, make memories, and yeah, step outside your comfort zone.
If you were in high school right now, what would you do differently?
Oh, what would I do differently? Man, that's tough. I loved a lot of things I did in high school. I mean, I probably would have aligned some classes a little differently, to be honest. Like, I took a lot of shop classes, a lot of strength training, like a lot of stuff like that. I probably would have done a little more of this. Like, some of this existed when I was at Coon Rapids here, but not to this level. I probably would have spent a little more time doing communications and production type stuff. I probably would have. I probably would have tried to not be stupid and get hurt playing sports like I did. You know, like, try to be a little more cautious of that, because, you know, get injury and you push through it and try to force it, and then you get hurt more. So I'd probably be a little more cautious, but that comes with experience. Otherwise, I don't know. I mean, I think I would have probably tried playing football earlier than my senior year, for sure, because that was a lot of fun. But no, yeah, that's probably about it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Cool.
Thank you for coming. Today's National Day is Croissant Day.
Get ready to have a great day, because National Croissant Day means that butter-baked goods can be enjoyed in variety of ways.
Try out these ideas or come up with some of your own.
The best way to go about eating a croissant on National Croissant Day would, of course, be located at French Bakery.
But for those who don't have access to something quite so authentic, even non-French bakeries have gotten fairly good at making and baking up the dough to create a buttery, flaky treat.
Try it on your own for breakfast, and spread some chicken salad on one for lunch. For dinner, they even make a great dressing, especially when filled with chocolate or hazelnuts spread.
You could make even a batch of croissant by finding a recipe online. Celebrate National Croissant Day in style by eating an abundance of this tasty treat. That's all we have for today. Thanks for watching.